looking at the stolen family member. The stolen family member. Okay, when we are talking about family member here, we include the husband, the wife, the child, parents, maybe close relatives. So any member of the family that's of relevance to us, we include that person. And we are saying that the possibility of a family member to be stolen is there and very high. Somebody wonders, what do you mean by a stolen family member? The concept of a family member being stolen is not about being kidnapped, not about being abducted, not being taken away from the family. It's far more than that. Yeah, so we'll just be looking at all those things because it's not an interesting experience to notice that a family member is not available anymore. So when we talk about something being stolen, we are looking at something being taken without permission, something being taken unlawfully from the lawful owner. And most times, whatever that has been stolen, that means something that has been taken unlawfully, is because that thing has been exposed or that thing has been seen and made accessible to the person that has stolen it. Did you get that? So we are saying that something cannot be stolen except that thing has been seen, except that thing has been exposed, except that thing has been kept unguarded. And anybody that steals something sees that thing as something that is of interest, of much relevance or important to him or her, more than the rightful owner. So sometimes when you have something and you keep it carelessly or you abandon it, another person that sees that thing and feels that that thing might be of better use to him or her may not even want to come and take permission from you. Maybe the person will know that you resist him or her taking it. The person will look for a way and collect that thing unlawfully. So we are saying that we have some of our members, our family members, that have been taken from us unlawfully. Those that took them believe that they are of much relevance to them, that they need those are family members, that they desire them more than those of the people that own those ones. So we want to look at it right now because the case of my husband not being available again, my wife not showing interest again, my children not doing as if they are part of the family, or my parents not even having time for us again. The case is increasing on daily basis. And I think it is one of my responsibilities under the umbrella of Family on Focus to come and raise alarm that we can't keep losing our family members to the potential thieves of our family members around. The stealing is not to carry them physically, but it is to take them from us, even while they are still there with us physically. Okay? All right. If you got that, then we are making progress. All right. So now, how can a family member be stolen? A family member can be stolen psychologically. I'll take that. I will explain that. A family member can be stolen emotionally. The family member can be stolen even financially, even by the reason of the family member's purpose. The family member can be stolen also in the area of presence. So when we look at all these ones, we discover that these things are happening around us in our homes. And we just wonder why those things are happening. It's simply because some of those are family members we neglected them, we abandoned them, we pushed them to a place where they are not well guarded, and somebody else that feels that then he or she needs that our family member who stretch hands and collect that our family member without taking permission from us. Now let me explain this. There are two major causes of family members being stolen. When your family member is not being available psychologically, emotionally, even financially, maybe with his or her presence, or even in the area of purpose, it means that your family member has been stolen. Yes, that your family member has been taken from you. That your family member has been taken from you by another person that sees value in that your family more than you do. You know why the stealing has taken place? It's because two things happened. Any family member of yours that is not available anymore, there could be one or two things you contributed to that your family member not being available again. Don't forget, this is your family, this is Precious Caleb. And we come your way all the time to see how we can contribute to making your relationship, your marriage, your home working, because that is our mandate. Now, there are two major things that can trigger the stealing of a family member. Number one is the issue of abandonment. Now, let me say this. There is no family member of yours that wouldn't want you to be around him or her from time to time, that wouldn't want you to make him or her to feel that you are part of what is happening in his or her life. When you abandon your children, when you abandon your wife, when you abandon your husband, you are setting the person up for another person to steal him or her. We have some husbands that cannot even tell how their wives are feeling part-time. There are some husbands that, as I'm talking to you right now, they don't even know where their wives are. They don't know where their children are. There are some women now, as I'm talking right now, where they are, they don't even care whether their children have eaten. They don't care whether their husbands are okay or not. They just don't care. And when you abandon your family member, every man, every human being has been created to be in need, especially the need of presence. Even God himself, the Bible said that he created us for his pleasure. The desire of God is that we spend time with him, that we don't abandon him. So if God desires that we don't abandon him, if God desires that we stay around him, spend time with him, how much more your family member that abandoned every other person and decided to stick to you, how much more will that person not desire not to have you around? So when you abandon your family member, just know that there is somebody around you, there is somebody around your family member, there is somebody in the neighborhood, there is somebody in your place of worship, there is somebody in your place of work, there is somebody in that your area that is interested in taking that your family member from you without communicating it with you, without letting you know. That is stealing, because the person feels that what you have, you don't value it. And if you don't value it, the person that values it will go for it. I hope you're getting what I'm saying now. So when you don't value your family member, you see yourself abandoning your family member. There are some that when their wives are not feeling too well, they don't even know. There are some that when their husbands are having health issues, they don't even know. There are some women that will stay in the house. They don't know whether their children are doing well in their studies, in their school, in their skills, in their academics, in their place of work. They don't even know. They just abandon them. These family members, these ones, they are so self-centered. They are so self-centered, selfish. They are concerned about how they feel, what they want per time. So what the other family member wants or needs does not concern them. So they abandon them there. They abandon them to fend for themselves, what they eat, what they do, where they go to, their clothing, whatever they do, their welfare, they just leave them. They hear that their family members are having some problems. They just don't feel like getting involved. They abandon them. They feel like you are on your own, sort yourself out, take care of yourself, whatever it is, tackle it out. And when you abandon your family member will struggle to survive. And anytime your family member survives without your input, without your contribution, without your relevance, you are beginning to become irrelevant. And what you don't do for your family member, there are 1,001 persons around you that are ready to do those things for them. Whether they are doing them for good or they are doing them for bad. Those ones that are doing those things for your family members you have abandoned, they are doing those things to them, either to win them or to take them from you, or to let your family member know that you cannot take care of them, that you don't care for them, that you don't show concern about them, that whatever that concerns them doesn't get to you. So when the people outside are beginning to do for your family members what you're supposed to do, then they are stealing your family members gradually. I hope I'm making sense now. There are some things that is expected of you to teach your children. There are some things that you are supposed to teach your children. There are some questions that you alone can answer your children. And if you don't make yourself available for those things, your children will be hungry, they will be curious, they want to get answers to those questions. And the person that provides the answers to them becomes a model to them, becomes a very important person to them, more important than you that feeds them from time to time. So at that, the person is beginning to take them away from you. That is what it means for a family member to be stolen. A family member to be taken from you without your permission. Family member to be taken from you unlawfully. So I said that one of the major ways of allowing such to happen is by abandoning your family members. I said before that human beings have been created to always be in need. And that's why we have family. The Bible said it is not good for one to be alone. That means abandoning somebody is an issue. And when somebody has been glued to you by the reason of marriage, by the reason of being a family member, and you abandon the person, there are some people around you that want to offer what you have refused to offer to your family member. And when those people offer those things to your family members, they are becoming more important to your family members. Husbands, go back to your homes and make out time to talk with your wives. Ask your wives questions. Ask your children questions. Talk with the members of your family. Let them open up to you. Let them feel your presence. Let them know that you care about them. Let it not be that you allow them to take care of their needs, to struggle to pay for whatever they need, to struggle to take care of whatever that comes their way. They struggle to pay the bills. They struggle to bring food to the home. They struggle to do this. They do the washing. They do the cooking. They take care of everything in the house. And your own is just to come home and ask, oh, how is it today? And you sleep off. You are abandoning your family member. And there is somebody in the neighborhood that will steal your family member from you. Did you get that? Good. So sometimes we abandon our family members. We don't give them support. We don't share time with them. We don't listen to them. We don't hear what they are trying to say to us, which they may not have the right words to use and tell us. So it becomes an issue. And when an outsider begins to do for your family members what you're supposed to do, you are giving your family members up for one to steal that your family member. I hope I'm making sense now. Don't forget, this is your Family This Week with Precious Caleb, and we come your way all the time to see how we can contribute to your relationships, homes, your marriages working out beautifully. And we are looking at the concept of stolen family member. And we have said that when we talk about a family member being stolen, we are not talking about abduction. We are not talking about kidnap. We are not really concerned about the physical removal of family members from us. We are rather looking at the psychological, the emotional, the spiritual, even the financial, the purpose concerned, or even the presence demand involved in this whole thing. And we said that this issue of stealing family member can occur in two major ways. And we said that one major way there is by abandoning our family members. If you abandon your wife, you abandon your husband, if you abandon your children, if you abandon your parents, another person around is going to make provision, is going to make himself or herself available, is going to do for that your family member what you have refused to do, or what you ignored to do, or what you pretended that you cannot do. And when that need has been taken care of, your family member will begin to go towards that person, and before you know it, you're losing that your family member. Somebody else is stealing your family member. I hope I've made sense here right now. All right, we go to the next reason why family member can be stolen. That one is by unguarded exposure. There are some that they feel like, oh, I don't want to abandon my family member. I want to expose my family member to everything, expose my family member to religious activities, expose my family member to social gatherings, expose my family member to even social media, expose my family member to studies or to travel to this. Good and fine. But if that exposure is not guarded, you are giving your family member up for another person to take that your family member from you. We have had so many cases of people that expose their wives or their husbands to some areas, to some places of work, to some religious activities. Until now, they cannot have their spouses back. Yes, because they expose them to those places without guarding them. So with that free hand, their family members encountered what they did not prepare for. And those things they encountered swallowed them. They couldn't come back anymore. Did you understand that? So when you are exposing your family members, just try and make sure that you guard them. Now, let me give you examples. You can expose your family members in an unguarded way by the words you speak. What you tell people about your family members can bring issues to your relationship. For example, this is your closest friend, and every time you're telling that your closest friend how good your husband is, that your husband gives you money all the time, that your husband is soft-hearted, that your husband is very good in the other room, that your husband is generous, that your husband has this, your husband has that. Yes, you are making somebody to feel that your husband is worth respecting, but at the other end, you are pushing your husband out as an object up for somebody else to steal. Did you get that? Yes. By the time you start telling your closest friend how good your husband is in this, how good your husband is this, who doesn't like good thing? Before you know it, the person will start scheming on how to take that your husband from you. And tomorrow you come and say, hey, Mama Precious, I don't know how it happened. Oh, can you imagine? My closest friend did this to me. No, your closest friend acted on the information you gave him or her about your partner. Are you getting it now? So sometimes we should mind what we tell people, no matter how close those people are, about our family members, about our children, about our wives, about our husbands. Learn to withdraw some information. Some of us, we just open our mouth, wow, and we say it all. We say, no, I'm just being free. Oh, I don't want to hide anything. No, she's my Tima friend. He is my closest friend. So I can say anything to her. You are joking. The person that will steal something from you is somebody that has seen that thing, somebody that has weighed the value, and somebody that's monitored where you keep that thing, how you treat that thing, and how it will feel to have that thing. So it's mostly the people around you that can steal your family member. So sometimes through words, you give out information about your family member. You make people to begin to desire to have them. And when they desire to have your family members, they can do anything to take them from you, because nobody hates good things. Sure, you understand? So if you're exposing your family member, please try and guard the exposure. Learn to withdraw some things. Learn to keep some things back. Don't hand your family member over for others to take. Did you get that? Those of you that when your child writes WAEC, everybody will know. When your child is traveling to so place, everybody will know. When your husband wants to go for interview, everybody will know. When your wife is entering bus at 12 o'clock, everybody will know. You're just being careless. Things have changed, and my desire is that your family member will not be taken from you. So mind the words you say. Mind the things you tell people about your family member. On the other hand, also mind the words you speak to your family member. Yes, mind the words you speak to your family member. When you begin to say anything, you feel like you can open your mouth and tell your child anything. You they told you to teach your child this, teach your that. Those ones have been teaching their children those things. Have you tried to find out the outcome of those teachings? They will say, no, teach them everything. You open your mouth, wow, and tell your child anything they said you should tell. Have they tried the outcome of that, telling their children this and that over the years? Have they done research on that? Have they been able to tell you the result of them telling their children everything? So your own, you just open your mouth and tell call your child, say that, I want to tell you this now. You open your mouth like this. You are trying to hand your child over to those around that want to steal your child from you, or your wife, or your husband, or your parents from you. So don't open your mouth and tell your family member everything, especially that particular thing that you know that your family member is not matured to handle, that your family member is not ready to handle at that time. You keep it to yourself till the child or till that your family member is well stable to handle such a thing. I hope I'm making sense here. This is your family this week with Precious Caleb, and as I said before, today we are looking at the concept of a stolen family member. All right, we also said that in your discussions with your friends, in your discussions with your family members, you can, present your family member for somebody to steal, and we say you should apply caution in what you say about your family member and in what you say to your family member. The next is on social media. Excuse me, social media is not really for everybody. There are some that cannot manage the madness on the social media. There are some that are not stable mentally. There are some that emotionally they cannot handle things that pop up on social media all the time. And if you know that your family member cannot manage that, it will be wrong for you to expose that your family member to social media without guarding that your family member. Yes, some of us, we have our children that are in higher institution, and most times they use online information resources for their studies. Yes, at that they should have Android phones, iPhones, and all those stuff. Yes, fine. But as they are making use of the social media, from time to time, stumble on what they are doing and see the areas they have entered. See the areas that are going to enter, because you need to guard them. If you do not guard them, I say the bad things on the social media are more than the good things now, because even the percentage of the good things corrupt is now rising on daily basis. So you just have to be sure that what your family member is viewing, is accessing on the social media is not what will make your family member to be stolen. Social media can steal your family member. Social media can steal your family member. Religious activities can steal your family member. So sometimes when your family member is on social media, mind what that your family member is viewing. Did you get that? There are so many signs that are dangerous, that are terrible. You just need to watch what your family member is viewing on social media. Then we look at some spiritual places. Like I said, if you're careless, and anywhere they say there is a program going on, they say we are having fasting, you carry your family member and go, or you send your wife, or you send your husband, or send your children, or anywhere they say there's a big prophet that is coming, there's one man of God that is coming, there's this prophetess that is there is something that are praying there. If you don't have understanding of the foundation of that place, or what that place is all about, or you can't even attest to the character, the integrity of the person there, I do not expect you to be sending your family member there, because sometimes the complications that come as a result of the unguarded exposures we give family members to those places. Some of us have not been able to handle them till now. Even ministers of God, I know of some pastors that have lost their spouses because of unguarded exposures to some religious activities. It is not everybody that comes to you and speaks in tongues, preaches, prophesies, or does anything that is of God. The Bible even says that even angel presents himself as an angel of light. So you'll be harming yourself by thinking that any religious gathering, or because this person has a big name, is also person, that you can hand your child over to such a person, you can send your child to such a program, religious place, or you can send your wife or your husband, or let your parents go there. You are making a very big mistake. As much as you can, be sure of where you are allowing your family members to get to as per religious activities, and if possible, be part of what is going on there, so that when something is not going in the right direction, you can pinch yourself, tap your family member and say, no, this one, or when the whole thing is over, you tell your family, I beg, I didn't want to embarrass you, but you see this one, no, no. Or when something is about to happen, you can say, no, let us go. That is you guarding. Because if you don't guard your family members in the exposures, especially in religious places, you discover that a time will come, you won't even have access, you won't have control over that your family member, and at that, something has stolen your family member. Don't forget, this is your family this week with Precious Caleb, and today we are looking at the concept of the stolen family member. Yes, under the unguarded exposures too, we have the issue of having high profile. There are some that, when Bible talks about godliness with contentment, that is great gain. Some have not understood it. Your family member can be stolen when you don't manage your profile. You have unguarded exposures. When people you just want people to know that you are big, that your husband is big, that your wife is this, that your wife is that. Lie low. Just lie low. No matter how great and mighty you are, learn to curtail some excesses. Learn to be yourself. Be decent, be moderate. If not, you'll be exposing your family member for another person or somebody else to hijack. You know that, oh, your husband is now this, oh, your wife is now this, oh, your children are now this, oh. Who doesn't like good things? A time will come, with such unguarded exposure, people want to take what they like, because it is what they see that they want to see, and it is what they hear about that they want to have. Did you get that? So as much as you can, learn to manage the exposure you are giving your family members, especially on the issue of profile. Yes, in some occasions too, learn to manage your personality. It's not every occasion that you carry your family members to. Like now, somebody is having party. I won't send my children to any party, whether birthday party, whether anything party, no matter how holy the organizers are, without me being there or being sure of what is going there. If I must lose my children, I must make sure that I'm there, my husband is there, or that I have an adult that is sensible to watch over the activities there, so that when the activity going on there doesn't meet up with what we believe in, they just pull out. Are you getting it now? So you don't say, oh, my friend say we should come for the child's birthday, my classmates say we should go home, so they say we should go, you just carry bar, and you now enter there, you start seeing rubbish and your children will be looking at you, looking at what they are seeing. They are getting traumatized emotionally or psychologically already, and you'll be wondering what's going on. No. If you don't guard them, if you don't guard the exposure you're giving your children or your family members, you are giving them up for somebody or something to steal them. I hope I'm blessing somebody today. The next is friendship. If your child, if your husband or your wife is keeping friends, please try and be sure that friend or the friends are of good interest to your relationship, your marriage, your home. If you notice that you have exposed your wife or your husband or your children to somebody that should be a friend, but what the person is doing doesn't make sense in your own way of life or in the way of life of your family, I think you should do yourself favor by stopping the exposure or ending that friendship. Are you getting it? Me and you can be friends because we are working the same place, but if your own value system and my value system are not the same, I cannot expose my children to you being my friend. No, we just end our friendship at our place of work. and you cannot have my family members around you. Yes, I know some of my family members that are terrible kinds of people. I cannot bring them to my family. I cannot bring them to my family. We just finish what we are doing out there. If it's spiritual activity, we finish there. If it's academic work, we finish there. If it's official work, we finish there. But I cannot bring you to have access to my family members because I am guarding them, and any exposure I'm giving them should be the guarded one. I hope I am blessing somebody. All right, now let's look at, there are so many other ways, but I plan to make this talk to be very, very short so that we can do other things. Okay, now let's look at things that can happen when our family members or our family member is stolen. Number one, you notice that there is emotional dryness. If somebody has taken your place in keeping your wife or your husband company, if somebody has stolen the emotions, has taken the emotions of your wife or your partner or your husband or your children, you notice that there will be so much friction emotionally in the family, in the relationship, in the home. You understand? Hugging your wife becomes a drag. Having intimacy with your husband begins to look like something tedious. You understand? Hugging your parents or hugging your children, telling them how much you love them, or them telling you how good you are, oh sweet mother or sweet handsome daddy, or that. No, scarcity of that. Are you getting me now? When you now come to the house, you tell your wife, oh, how are you today? Fine. What's the problem? No problem. Whatever appreciation with you again. Somebody is on your wife, somebody is on your husband, and you just need to get up and work. Are you getting me now? You just need to get up and begin to work. So when your family has been stolen, I said you begin to notice emotional dryness, nothing exciting again. Romance becomes like poison. I don't even want to talk to service in the other room because what said? As somebody, you can even see the person, but the person's mind is the person's body that is there. The mind has gone to another place because somebody has stolen your family member. And who caused it? You. How did you cause it? Number one, by abandonment or by unguarded exposure. Did you get that? Good. Number two is that suspicion will creep in. When your family member has been stolen from you, you notice that you begin to feel uncomfortable around that person, or the person will begin to feel uncomfortable around you. The person has been exposed to some possibilities that might not be of good interest to him or her. So every move you make, the person begins to suspect you. When the person has been exposed to people that will tell you, do you know, when your husband begins to lock phone, when your husband begins to answer phone outside, when your husband stays till 4 o'clock at work, when your husband, yes, there can be some aspects of truth in that, but when it becomes a regular thing, the person's emotion or trust, commitment, peace of mind towards you must have been stolen. Are you getting me now? So now anything you do, the person is suspecting you. You come to the house, you eat heavily, the person is suspecting you. Why are you eating? When you don't eat, the person is wondering why you're not eating. When you take drugs in the morning, the person wonders why you're taking drugs. When you don't take your drugs, the person begins to wonder. Troubles and troubles. When your child sips garri, you suspect the child. When your child doesn't want to eat, it becomes a problem. When your child doesn't respond when you are angry, it's an issue. When your husband, your family member responds, it becomes a problem. Suspicion has set in, and you know what caused it? That issue of stolen family member. So, you see it? Anytime you notice that your family member is beginning to suspect you, there is somebody that is trying to steal your family member or has stolen, or there is something that has stolen or is trying to steal your family member. Another thing is you notice that there is disunity. When somebody begins to command the interests of your family member, begins to have the interest, the presence, the should I say the love, the fantasy, the intimacy, with your family member, you notice that disunity will set in. In fact, without disunity, your enemies can even invade your family through that your family member, because they now have access to information about you, about your family member, about other family members. They know when you are available, when you're not available. They know when to strike and when not to strike, because they have made your family member to begin to see that you don't care, that you don't really love, or that you have abandoned, or that that you're not there. At that, disunity are setting, and the possibility of your enemy having access to your family, to your marriage, becomes very easy. Have you seen it now? Good. The next is there will be complications in your finance. At that point, you notice that your finance is beginning to have issues. You begin to have financial struggles. You begin to struggle to give explanations for how you spent your money, how money entered your hands, and things like that, because something has started happening to you. You understand? You buy something, your partner is wondering why. You don't buy, your partner is wondering why. Small time, you try to explain why the money given to you is not enough, why you don't have it. Financial issues begin to come in. And when somebody has stolen your family member, there will be need to be servicing the person that has stolen, or the person that has been stolen. At that, finance becomes an issue. Another issue here is health issues. Yes, the person that has been stolen, or the person that is suffering the stealing of the family member, may begin to have some health issues, maybe mental health issues. Okay, yes, the person may become addicted to a particular kind of food, particular kind of drug or substance. You understand now? The person may begin to fall sick often. The person's immune system might drop. The person is getting stressed emotionally, psychologically. The person is not balanced again. The person is wondering, why is it that my husband or my wife doesn't have time for me anymore? Why is it that my children are not available again? Why is it that my parents don't have time for us again? You understand now? And because of the abandonment, sicknesses, diseases, and some health issues might set in. And that, I tell you, is a very big problem. And when you, like I said, when you expose your family members in an unguarded way, your family member can be exposed to some drugs, can be exposed to some lifestyle, can be exposed to some substances, can be exposed to some places and some things that might endanger his or her health. So at that, when the repercussion, when the consequence comes now, it becomes an issue. Yes, so I talked about the family member having health issues or battling with addiction. Okay, then I talked about mental health. Okay, I also talked about disorder. The person might begin to have restlessness. The person might begin to have some issues, some complications. You understand? Yes, we have issues of depression or suicide, possible suicide attempt, or at the extreme, the issue of death. So what is the way out now? As I begin to round off, what is the way out? The way out is this. First of all, propose in your heart that your family members matter to you, that you're not ready to trade your family members for anything, for anybody. So what are you supposed to do? You guard your family member. You make yourself available, your family member. You make your family members to always feel your presence. Are you getting that? Let your family members always feel your presence. Be there, even if you're not there physically with them, maybe as a result of the kind of job you're into or the type of involvement you are handling. Let them hear your voice from time to time. Let them hear you ask them questions. Let them know that you care about them. Are you getting it now? So at that, nobody can take them from you, because whatever they want to my mommy, my parents, my children, my husband, my wife will always give me that, or let me know that when he or she has it, I can have it too. Okay, so the next I want to say here is, please try as much as you can to not just love your family member, try and see something interesting in your family member that you must like. Maybe the laughter, maybe the physical appearance, maybe the facial expressions, maybe the level of intelligence, maybe the smile, maybe the steps, maybe the legs, maybe the body structure. There must be something about your family member that you just cannot ignore. And if it's only one or two things that you like about your family member, let those things be amplified in your own mind, so that you begin to develop unquenchable likeness for your family member, because the person you like, you always want to stay around, you always want to be with, you always want to guard. Even when you have to expose the person, you expose the person in a guarded way, and at that, your family will be intact. Don't forget, this your family. This is Precious Caleb, and I think I've done a little to this issue of our family members being stolen. And like I said, the family member being stolen here is not about the physical stealing, not about abduction, kidnapping, but not being available anymore. Wife come back now. No excitement, no gisting again, nothing again. Your wife comes, you wonder why. Could be because of abandonment or unguarded exposure. But I pray that starting from today, you begin to rearrange your priorities and see how you make your family to be of topmost priority, because your family matters so much to you, to humanity, and to God. The Lord bless you. God bless you. Till when next I come your way, don't forget, this is your family this week with Precious Caleb. And our desire is that your relationship will work, your marriage will be peaceful, and your home will be peaceful. God bless you. God bless you. I love you all. I love you.